Maybe Smokey. Anyway, hello, welcome to Pentiment, the 22nd of its line. It's the November 20th, I think it said, in 1543 still? Yes, November 20th, 1543. Smokey? Yes. The guy who was looking in on me in the salt mine. He is the only one I've seen with a manly enough beard to fit the profile, so probably Smokey, but why would Smokey check in on me? He doesn't really know me. Anyway, we are in the Burnt down abbey. Burnt down abbey. Burned it down? Burnt down abbey. And we're gonna take a look around. The main objective is to get to the library, see if we can find any books that survived, but I am going to look everywhere. Oh my god, this is amazing! I wonder what it must have looked like before the fire. It was quite pretty, let me tell you. Than churches often are. Everything collapsed in the fire. Okay, so going to have to walk around then, because my first thought was going down into the cellar, but I see that that's kind of blocked off, so I can't get into the library that way through the crypt, the crypt and the hidden passage. Guess I'm gonna have to go through towards the scriptorium, which is fine. I'll have to be careful climbing over this rubble to get past, or we're going over. Okay. Show us what you can do, Magda. I mean, must be kind of slightly more difficult to climb wearing a skirt. I can imagine that would get in the way, but you'll do fine. Ooh. Oh shit. It's fine. It's fine, and climb down. Yes, that way. Don't jump down. That's gonna, if not break bones, you're at least gonna have quite the pain in your ankles. Oh! Well, we're not going out that way. Oh no, I can't get back up there. If I climb, it might collapse further. Yep, not going out that way. I'll have to find another way out. Okay, we can go into the tower. Sorry. Sure, because the tower never had any significance when it was not burnt down. Hello? The bells? Sure, the tower was just there. Nothing actually happened in the tower. But a church's gotta have a tower. Are you actually gonna try and climb on the vines? Oh, you are braver than I am. There's nothing left of the old staircase. I guess I can't go this way. These vines do go all the way to the top, though. They look sturdy enough to hold my weight. Are you sure? Yeah, she is way braver than I am. Me, not child me would have jumped at the chance to climb up that. I climbed freaking everything. I actually, this one time at summer camp, I actually climbed a mostly dead tree. Yes, I know, that's kind of stupid, but I was a child, and as children, we are stupid. I think I was maybe 8, 9, 10, somewhere there. Could have been 11. I don't know the exact age. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Because I loved climbing things. I loved climbing trees, just any kind of hill / mountainy thing. Anything that could be climbed, I tried to climb. Yes, even the apartments and houses where they allowed me to climb. Anyway, this tree, half dead. I climbed up. It probably creaked here and there, but you know, child, we just do things when we're children. Got all the way up to the top, thought, hey, this is nice, because this whole summer camp was basically on a small island, so we had to row out, and yes, they allowed us children to row if we wanted to, and I wanted to, so I rowed one boatload of kids and 2 adults out there. None of us were wearing life jackets because less safety concerned times. Our parents probably would have hated that. Anyway, getting away from the topic. The rant? Rambling? Tangent? Anyway, climbed to the top of said tree. Was looking to go down. Stepped out on a branch. It went crack. Just a very, very sharp crack. I remember that sound even today. And I fell down. I basically went through every branch on the way down. And this tree was maybe, I think it was 5 or 6 meters high, which isn't that high, but for a child, it's very high. And I didn't hit the ground though, because the back of my knee, I say, using my elbow, back of my knee, kind of caught the lowest hanging branch that wasn't fully dead. And my head was swinging like about this much from the semi-stony ground. Upside down. I was just hanging there. Anyway, tangent, yes. She's braver than me, but as a child I would have jumped at the chance to climb this. Anyway, you go, Mags. Sorry, Magdalene. Well, there's no other way out. Just be very, very, careful, yeah. Oh, I see a mill there. Is that the mill? There's an aqueduct, a mill. It's quite a ways from the rest of Tassing. Oh, I can see all of Tassing from here. I wonder if I can piece together the foundations of the abbey and find a way to get to the library. Maybe, who knows? I bet I could get down this way. The roof looks pretty stable. Not fully stable, but pretty stable. Oh, well, okay, here we go. Oh. Oh, I would not trust that roof at all. That does not look very stable. That looks like it could collapse at any moment. I mean, burnt and sooty boards? Yeah. Not really well known for their integrity. Oh, we're actually basically down to the scriptorium. Nice. Well done, Magda. I'm impressed. Yep, here we are. There's the library. Here's the scriptorium. Here's the rest of the church. Oh, God. I remember when the library burned down. Do you? You were but a baby back then. Dad told me I was just a baby, but I remember the flames coming out of the windows. Well, I can't believe that. I also have some weird memories from extremely early childhood. My very first memory, I think I was only months old, but I clearly remember one of my parents, I don't know who, I don't remember if it was my mother or my father, doesn't really matter. But it was night, and they held me up to the window and let me look out on the sites below. It was a kind of trafficked road. Alright, I remember seeing all the cars driving by, all the lights. Anyway. So many people were screaming and running around. I cried myself to sleep that night. I haven't seen this place since then. I don't think anyone has. It doesn't look like there's anything left inside. I suppose it was too much to hope for. You never know unless you go in. Well, Magdalene, how are you going to get out of here? I mean, I'm sure there's a wall somewhere we can climb. Huh? And we can go to the cemetery. Flowers? These roses seem to have made the abbey their home. I'm glad something beautiful is still growing here. It was a weird inflection, but sure. Old Bailey. Oh! Piero? I think his name was Piero. More roses. Just taking a look around the cemetery. That's not creepy. That is still creepy though. More roses. Still glad something beautiful is growing here. Okay, so this is overgrown. I guess we're going through the chapter house? Where the first murder happened. No, the cloister. Okay. It's close. Hi, kitties! I wonder if there were always this many cats at the abbey. No, not this many. Perhaps I can ask Washlam what he remembers during his time here. Right, he's around. But the cat, even if it's a stray. Oh. This way to the aquarium. Oh, this place is a mess. How sad. Did I ever notice these weird, creepy, demon-esque reliefs? Well, I guess this was basically built on a Roman foundation, so... Okay, sure. We can't go into the chapter house, because it's blocked off. Never mind, ignore me. What's this way? Okay, that's just a look, and there's leaves there. What if we look here? The door's stuck. I can't get through this way. Right? Through the chapter house. Through the murder house. Yep. Right around here somewhere is where we found the blood on the wall. Wait a minute. There are new paintings here. Wait. These definitely weren't here when the abbey burnt down, so someone else has been here after that and painted this? Not very good paintings, but... Oh, an old mural! It's worn, but I can still see some of the figures. Yes, this would be the Dance of Death, or Totenkampf, or whatever. A Dance of Death? Yes. What was the Dance of Death? On the allegory on the constancy of death, not the actual Dance of Death illness thingy-majing. Okay, you look like you have breasts for heads. Wait. That's a lion-esque monster biting someone with a giant eye. He does have a cape, so kind of, and a lot of dead bodies. But is that the Baron? Did someone paint the Baron? I mean, the tooth could be the dagger, and he's bleeding. Because we haven't really seen anyone else in a cape that's been around a lot. And these would be all his victims. And then someone is crying and holding a dead plant while being stabbed by Cloud's sword, and being stuck by arrows. He's also bleeding. Don't know who this is. Unless that's supposed to be Lucky? Because the Baron died and Lucky did put flowers at the grave, and so he was backstabbed by someone? I don't know. Then there's a tree of blood with one fruit, could be an orange. That is Piero. Probably. The tree is growing out of someone. That looks suspiciously much like Caspar. Which would make this Andreas? Caspar is burning in the fire. Andreas is trying to save him. But he cries. What? These figures look new. The paint can't be more than a few years old. Who has been here in the last few years that knew of all the events all the way back to the Baron? Gertrude was here, and she has access to paint. Did Gertrude sneak in here and... Why would she do that, though? Someone's been adding to this. Yeah, there's the... Someone. It grows out of someone, or is he praying to a tree of blood that bleeds? That could be basically anyone. The hell? This feels wrong. Who would add new figures to the Dance of Death? And why? Yeah, so far, most likely suspect, Gertrude. Because she was around for all the events, and she can make paint. She still does. Or ink, at least. I'm sure she can make paint too, and I'm sure she can do it without all of the other sisters finding out. These look like people from the town, from here. People who died. Okay, so if they are all people who died, Baron, maybe Lucky, Piero. Who the hell would this be? He's holding some kind of... That must be the Baron. And that's Otto. Is that Otto? Or is that Otto? Or is that Otto? I forgot about Otto. Sorry. Who the hell is Otto? This is probably Otto. From Otto's death, something grew? I was right on the Baron, at least. That's still probably Caspar and Andreas. Both of them burned? Wait, is that? Huh? Someone's here. Where? Down there? I thought that was a natural shadow. Hello? Who are you? An abbey forgotten. One of these has got to be Lucky. So if that's the Baron, that's Lucky, that's Otto, that's Piero, that's Caspar and Andreas. Where's Brother Guy? And the Miller, because they also died. Although this is... Okay, so... Baron was murdered. Lucky executed for the Baron's murder. So they kind of... Then... Otto, who was smashed to death. Piero died from natural causes. I hope. Caspar and Andreas burned. Guy burned, but he was guilty. We know for sure he was guilty. Still, Sure, the Baron was guilty of things, but well, he was guilty of one thing. Kind of, I mean, it's confirmed that he beat up the Sister Matilda. Don't know about any of the other things because we didn't get any real evidence for that. Still don't know what the whole two innocents was about, but that was connected to Lucky. And Lucky wasn't really, you know, convicted of something in the right manner. With no motive or evidence or anything. They just said, well, Lucky did it because we said so. Still not sure that Lucky actually killed the Baron. Otto was murdered. We still don't know who murdered Otto. We just know it wasn't the abbot. So basically, kind of guilty of a crime, but we don't know why. But let's say a quarter innocent? A quarter innocent. Kind of innocent. Hopefully. Otto was definitely innocent. He was just talking. Piero he died of old age, so also innocent. Caspar, very innocent as far as we know. Andreas, also innocent, even though his testimony did lead to Lucky's death. Though we couldn't really do anything about that. Interesting. I think I've learned all I can from the ruins of the abbey. It's so sad seeing it like this. The paintings of the Dance of Death, I'm not sure what to make of them. I think they're supposed to be people who died around the time of the revolt, and 7 years earlier. Who would do such a thing? Were they made by the person who's following me? Is it the same person who was at the mine? The person who attacked my dad? Okay, if you're alluding to everyone being the same person, then Sister Gertrude is definitely not the one who painted this, because as far as I know, Sister Gertrude does not have a long triangular beard. That then points to Smokey. But why would Smokey follow me around and go up here and paint things? Even he is a gossip, though, by his own admission. But we never saw him paint? Who did we know who could paint? Gertrude, probably, presumably. Paul, because he was drawing on the aqueduct. Andreas, but, you know, he's over there burning. Presumably Caspar, but he's also over there burning. The people in the scriptorium. But Guy is dead. Piero is dead. Adolf is presumably dead because he was old as shit even 18 years ago. The people who worked in the scriptorium were Guy, dead. Adolf, dead. Piero, dead. Andreas, dead. The abbot kinda went in there, but I don't think he worked in the scriptorium. Would he hang around back here? Could he paint? I mean, he could probably grow that beard in 18 years. But I don't see... Maybe he painted all of this out of guilt in that case? Because he was the one who said that basically that Piero was guilty of killing the Baron, and maybe once it was clear that Lucky was the murderer, maybe he got guilt over that, over not believing one of his brothers in faith. And maybe he feels guilty over letting Caspar and Andreas die. But Caspar was he was hiding. I clearly remember him hiding out in the same place we just climbed down to the scriptorium. That's where he was hiding. I don't remember seeing him die. Then again, I don't remember seeing many people die in that cutscene-ish. Smoky Abbot. Well, that did look like a rather large shadow, so again, Gertrude? I don't know. Hello? So we go out of the cloister. The door! The door is open. Whoever was watching me must have opened it. I don't like this. I have a bad feeling about this. I think I've seen everything left of the abbey. I want to get out of here. Soon. Just gonna go back and check. Make sure that no other freaking openings have opened. I don't think there's anything in the cemetery. Yeah, while we're here, just a quick look. Just a quick look. Just a very quick look. Roses. Still just roses. Okay, no, there's nothing there. Nothing is... Don't go back. Yeah, this. Here, this is where Caspar was hiding. He was hiding, I think it was basically here as well. While everyone was fighting here, then it went up and zoomed in on a figure on the top of the library, which was Andreas. Most likely, because no one else was in the library. Okay. Okay. A little bit of a spooky place, this. Just a little bit of a spooky place. Upper Abbey. Okay. That took me 2 hours. It's now the first hour. When did it start snowing? Whilst you were inside the Abbey. Yep, yep. Eat shit. Did I go into the shrine? I do not believe so. Anna Saint Moritz. Yes, the poor Claire's taking care of it. Freaking smiley face saint. Alright, we've learned all we can from here. Did you see someone? Fuck off. I told you not to call me that, and if you keep insisting on calling me that, you can eat shit. Yes, God bless you, God bless me, God bless us all, God bless everyone. Oh, I can talk to Francisca. God bless you, Magdalene. I had been hoping to speak with you. Do you perhaps have a moment? Of course, Mother. How can I help? I need to calm down from my experiences in the Abbey anyway. I had heard that you had taken up the mural in the rat house after your father's terrible attack. Yes, I'm excited to paint the town's history. Your enthusiasm and insistence is most troubling to some people in town. And how would you know? Some people? Yes, Magdalene. Myself included. I understand how you must have struggled with your mother passing while you were so young. Without a maternal figure to guide you, it is no wonder your spirit has wandered and wavered from its nature. Oh, come off. My spirit's fine, thanks. The pursuit of such traits is not for women, but men. As Paul writes, God calls women to work at home, not in trades. Well, God also says to go out in the world, fuck a lot, have babies, and yet here you are. because you claim that God called you to go here. So, he can't have it both ways. While supporting your father is laudable, taking on his work is, imprudent. There are plenty of young men in Tassing worthy of you. Or perhaps you have a different calling. Yes, it's called painting a mural. That's my calling. I'd like to offer you a place here, among the sisters. I understand you may disagree with my choices, but I'm constant. Dad taught me to run the shop, and I love painting. Wait, who said I'm troubling? And how did you hear that anyway? Aren't you all stuck up here? Oh, Magdalene, your insistence to paint the mural has been the talk of the town. Still, you're not answering the question. How do you know? Even the sisters hear something of what affects Tassing. Again, how do you know? Because the sisters are locked into the convent and they are not allowed to walk out except for one of them. Keep going. What if you must know? Father Thomas suggested that joining the convent may be good for you. Of course he did. I agree with him. You both need to stop. Gossip isn't very Christian, Mother Francisca. Ah, Magdalene, that wasn't our intention, but it is what you ended up doing. We are simply doing our best to look after you, through gossip. The people of Tassing care for you, Magdalene. Do not forget that. Except that craft boy, he can go eat shit. If you do seek guidance, I'm always available. God bless you. Okay. Going to stop by Father Thomas on the way home, it sounds like. Also, I completely forgot that we picked up Nico's present. Should really go and give that to him. Dang, even the old guest house is falling apart. The vines are grown over the entrance to the old abbot's house. Well, aren't they sturdy enough for you to climb up? Although, I don't know why we would want to go into the abbey once again. Okay, go by Nico's. The golden hand here. Yes, I have your stuff. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot. You were upstairs. Hello, Nico. Good to see you, Magdalene. Were you able to stop by the Albans? I have Hannah's pastry here. Gret sends her best wishes. Oh, perfect. Hannah will love this. Thank you, Magdalene. It's the little things, you know? Hannah told me you asked my dad for advice once. No point in denying it, I suppose. Your dad's a stoic one, but he has his wisdoms. You know, we haven't always been good to each other, me and Hannah. She went around and fucked the miller behind my back, and I knew about it. But after the revolt, things had to change. No more cuckolding. I tried to find ways to show her I appreciate her now. That's always important. Still doesn't excuse the cheating. Seems like a lot of work. Marriage? Sure. But so is anything worth doing. And I don't want to be alone in heaven. Well, aren't you basically... Isn't the whole shtick with heaven that we're all dead and then Judgment Day and then we go either to heaven or hell and then we, you know, meet everyone we've ever cared for and loved, so you wouldn't be alone, you would have your family around you. Right? I'm a little fuzzy on the details there. Again, not very into Christianity, don't know the gritty details. But as far as I understand it, we die, we stay dead, then waiting for Judgment Day, then we're gonna be judged, and then we're gonna know if we live in eternal paradise or not, right? So there would be no sense in souls going to heaven or hell after they die if they're just gonna be judged and recategorized on Judgment Day anyway, or is it basically the whole thing that your soul goes through purgatory and hell and maybe then you will have the chance to actually get into heaven on Judgment Day? I don't fucking know. It's confusing. I've kept you too long. Thank you again for the help, Magdalene. Until later, Nico. Killian, we haven't actually spoken to you. Hi, Mags. Sorry I can't talk for long right now. Magdalene. Oh, of course, Magdalene. I didn't mean to be impolite. Thank you, young man. Ah, it's all right. You've more courtesy than Utz and Apollo put together. Ah, thanks, I guess. So, what are you doing? Ah, you know, it's almost December. Preparing for the festivities is hard work. Mom and Dad need my help. They're not as spry as they used to be, you know. Oh, no. I mean, it's fun to be able to have your barbs outwards, but no need to be a constant bitch about it. Although it can be, it is fun to be able to be, but not constantly, not to people who don't deserve it. Yeah, I know how that is. Dad's not as quick as he used to be, even when he wasn't bedridden. Still no idea who attacked him? No. He'll be fine though, right? I hope so. I'm doing the best I can. Let's not mention the drunk doctor. You'll do great. It's still odd that you're working on the mural. I wouldn't have imagined. How is the mural coming along anyway? Well, one step at a time. Learning about the history of Tassing is a bit of a challenge. At least you can read in other languages. What if there's a history of Tassing in one of these books that no one here knows about? Hardly. I don't think this town has ever been important enough. I suppose so. Oh, I'm sorry, Magdalene. I really do have to get back to work. Be well. That's a nice young man. Hannah? Yes, good afternoon to you too. Okay, Father Thomas. We need to have words. Why did that sound like a growling wolf? Was that just the windmill turning that... Yeah, probably just the windmill turning. It's very loud. Father Thomas. Talk. Good day, Father Thomas. God bless you, Magdalene. Given all your sermons about it, Father, I didn't expect you to be the town gossip. I don't take your meaning, Magdalene. Oh, I think you do. I don't take kindly to your gossip with Mother Francisca about me. Magdalene, your work on the mural is no secret. Of course your progress will be the talk of the town. You're still gossiping. I never meant for my discussion with the abbess to be taken for gossip, Magdalene. However, I am worried about your attitude toward your work. Just because I don't Want to have the saints as a centerpiece? You displayed quite the insistence when you took up the project. An insistence that neither Mother Francisca nor I agree is healthy. For a woman. Yeah, just admit it. You're only saying this because I'm a woman. You wouldn't tell Utz or Kraft this shit. Oh, that is precisely why I'm concerned in the first place. Your attitude and behavior display a character that is not fitting for a young Christian woman. Magdalene, you are severely lacking the wisdom to understand your situation. Your father is in no condition to guide you, and you've gone motherless for most of your life. Mother Francisca and I are merely doing what we think is right. You need some sort of guidance. Yeah, but not your guidance. We agreed that you might be more open to the idea if Mother Francisca presented it. I'm not some orphan who needs to be taken care of by the church, Father. I can look after myself. Of course, Magdalene. I apologize. I did not mean to overstep my bounds. The Lord called me to act, so I did. Convenient excuse, I know. Thank you, Father. Now stop being a gossip. God bless you, Magdalene. Go and stay out of my business. So what is this I'm supposed to do now? I don't know. Where are we supposed to go? To the mill! Is that why it's so loud? Hello? Paul? Andreas? Good day, Magdalene. How's the mural coming along? Well, you know, I'm making good progress. I've started working on the history of the saints today. Oh, good, good. Terzing is a pilgrimage town, after all. What sort of mural are you creating, Magdalene? I believe Klaus was planning on a fresco. Ooh. All I know is that fresco is a sort of painting. Well, I'll start with the intonatio, whatever the hell that is, and then paint the fresco over it so that I have a clear consistency. Give me a moment. Intonatio. What the hell is an intonatio? In fresco painting, the final smooth coat, intonasco, of plaster is then troweled onto as much of the wall as can be painted in one session. Intonaco is an Italian term for the final very thin layer of plaster on which a fresco is painted. Okay. But it's spelled intonaco there without the CH, but whatever. Olden English had different spellings. Ah, I see. Do you have enough plaster? The rat house wall is so large I was worried it wouldn't stay wet for long. Oh, since when did the town miller know so much about art? Since Andreas encouraged him. It's been an interest of mine since childhood, but my father disapproved. After my mother and I left Tassing, we stayed with her family for a few months before we heard what happened. Wait, because you left Tassing during the revolt, Because I remember you beelined the hell out of there. Your father's friend Andreas. He encouraged me to draw. Good old Andreas. Think he would be proud of his legacy, at least this part of it. While we were away, I studied in my uncle's library. I've collected books about various art styles since we returned. Oh, I had no idea, Paul. Why didn't you want to paint the mural yourself? I'm not nearly as skilled as you or your father. Oh, so you mostly have theory and best practice. Probably? Maybe? I know I had my doubts about you taking on the project, Magdalene, but you are the most skilled artist in Tassing. After your father, of course. Ah, well, anyway, I'm glad the mural is going well. Forgive my sudden questioning about it. It's fine, Paul. I like you. I've been so busy preparing for the council's next meeting, I haven't had as much time with Anna as usual. She says I get a bit frantic when I'm overwhelmed. Is the council working on something new? Well, we're considering yearly maintenance checks on every house in Tassing. Oh, right. To check the hinges of every door in every house. The ideas had quite a bit more pushback than we had anticipated. Oh. I mean, that would be warranted, but Paul is a nice guy. I mean, I can understand the utility of the proposition, but it might feel like a nuisance. Ah, precisely. That's the issue we have run into. This would help protect those in Tassing who don't have the skill to fix things themselves. Widows like Agnes or Gretz. But without instituting it for the whole town, we can't enforce the proposition. In any case, the matter is far from resolved. I imagine spring will come before anything is actually done. As is often the case with bureaucracy. I had better get back to work. Thank you for letting me interrupt your day, Magdalene. God bless you. Until later, Paul. Andreas? Magdalene? Oh, we can't go down to the... I wanted to go down to the aqueduct ruins. Guess we can't do that anymore. Was kind of wondering maybe if Andreas kept up the tradition of painting on the aqueduct. Oh, Else, you want to talk? Hello? Magdalene, dear, what brings you up the hill? Oh, right, we needed to talk to Els. That's why we needed to go here. I completely forgot about that. I wanted to ask you some questions about your family. You know, for the mural. Ah, the Millers? I only know a little about Lenhart's people, I'm afraid. He was an asshole. And much of that I've heard from others. Lenhart didn't care to talk much about the past. I meant your family. The one you were born to. Your family name was Caviezel. Caviezel, wasn't it? Oh. Not a soul in town has asked me about my family in years. I was beginning to think my neighbors had forgotten us. Can I ask, how did you come to know my family name? Dad mentioned it. He said that you were the last of your family. Oh, I am not surprised that your father remembers the Caviezels. He was sweet on my sister before he met your mother. I am the last of us left now. You say it's Caviezel, not Caviezelin? I have always been called Caviezel, as were my sisters and mother, and her mother before her. My grandfather told me the Cavicels have lived in this area for hundreds of years. Perhaps even 1,000, though it seems impossible to imagine a time so long ago. That would be 1,000, that would be a 500 CE, so probably more Romans than pagans. Were they Romans? Oh no, the Cavicels were part of the old people, the original Bavarian people. They helped to resettle Tassing after the Romans left. Built their new home right on the spot where they had been living when the Romans arrived. But that's just a story. How do you know any of it is true? How do we know anything in history is true? All of history is actually just a story. Written down accounts by people who lived through it or heard about it or were there to witness it. But ultimately, it's just stories. Are there lies in our history? Most likely. Well, I heard it from my family. Do you think that they would lie? Probably. But we don't know to which extent. I mean, I do think that they could misremember or forget or, yes, lie, because they're human. Why does a story need to be true? A story doesn't, but history would benefit from being true. Right? Because otherwise we might draw weird conclusions or learn weird things from history. Imagine if all of our history was a lie and we're here because of what we learned from history. Maybe we would be somewhere completely different if then history would have been true. That's... Not really anything we could do about it if history would be a lie. Not really anything we could do about it. So I guess it doesn't really matter if it is true or not, because we're here. However true it may or may not be, doesn't really matter, Magda. It matters that I believe it, that it connects me to my ancestors. When I think of the ancient Cavicels driven from their land only to find it again and become Christians, they feel nearer to me. Do you understand? I think so. It's like when my dad tells me stories about courting my mom. I don't remember her face, but when he tells me about her smile, I can almost recall it. Yes, it doesn't matter whether you really remember. When I sing my sister's favorite songs to Ulrike, I may not know all the words anymore, but that's alright. Just as I may not know exactly how the Cavicels resettled Tassing, just that they did. What matters is that I feel close to her and them, even though they are so far away from me now. That is what stories are for, Magda. Now, go on. You've got a mural to complete. Well, thank you, Els. You have given me much to consider. God bless you, Magdalene, dear. I should get back to the rat house and get to work. Should you? Let's talk to Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Anna. How are you? Oh, keeping busy. There's always plenty to do around the house. How's the mural coming? Paul mentioned your progress is quite impressive. Did he not? Oh, I'll have to thank him. That's quite high praise from a councilman. Truth be told, he enjoys following your progress. I'll have to bring Andreas and Ulrike by sometime to see your progress. We won't get in your way, of course. I'm sure that they would love to learn about the process. You're all more than welcome, but watch your step. There's plaster everywhere. I've just mixed a new batch to keep the wall moist. It's hard to maintain the right texture when it's so cold out. Oh, I can imagine. I had a similar problem when I helped my mother in the bakery. Rolling dough in winter was such trouble. We had to throw out so many batches that wouldn't rise. Your discipline is admirable, Magdalene. You know, I was a real rascal back in the day. Skipped on working with my parents more times than I can count. Stole a hat from a visiting artist. My daughter now has it. Andreas's hat. But you're so hard-working, Anna. I can't imagine you making trouble. Oh, it is funny to consider, isn't it? I was a thief and a scoundrel. It started with cakes from my mother's table, still hot from the oven. Soon it was silverware, mugs, trinkets I found around town. Ulrike's little hat once even belonged to Andreas Mahler, your father's friend. I stole it from his head. During a telling by brother... Sabet? The one from Ethiopia, I think it was, who now lived in Rome. Yes, that is Andreas's hat. I love that. Of course, stealing is against the Lord's commandments. So my father would make me return everything if I hadn't eaten it already, and marched me to the church to pray. Father Thomas grew accustomed to seeing me more often than Sunday mornings. So what changed? I grew out of the habit over time. I think I started to see why my parents had such a devotion to the Lord. Stealing was my way of acting out. But when the trouble started in town, I realized that my thieving wasn't doing any good. I decided I would rather honor my father and mother as God commands. It gives me grace with Andreas and Ulrike on the hard days, and with the rest of the town too. You know, I think Ulrich would be proud. Thank you, Magdalene. That means more than you know. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you have plenty of mural work to do. I'll see you later then, Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. A little scamp. Hello, Mag. I just love the fact that they still have the hat. Could I have prevented Anna from stealing the hat? I mean, she did take it during the story. I don't right now remember. I'll have to go back and look. Could I demand... Were I able to demand that my hat be returned? I don't remember. I have to go back and look. So, mural time. Then, I talked with Els about the history of her family. She said they were displaced from their land by the Romans, but returned to the same spot as Christians after the Romans left. I think it might have been the same for many families in the centuries following Tassing's abandonment. It might be nice to commemorate the return of the local people in the mural. That would be nice. More nice than Tassing's, than the saints. Although Tassing is remembered for Saint Satia and Moritz. But no, about the people, about the village. More about the village than the spiritual side of things. Because the abbey is burnt down after all. So we're gonna go work on the mural, but we're gonna do that next time. Leave this here. for now. As always, thank you for being here and thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and try and be the best version of yourself so that we can all chip in and maybe nudge the world to be just a little bit better. We can hope, huh? Laters.